I feel that.
Meeting is called to order for the regular city commission meeting starting at 6 o'clock. We'll have the invocation of Pastor back meetings from Newberry Church. You stand for the
Thank you, sir. May we pray. Father, we take this moment to pause and give you thanks for a good life community. I pray this evening that your presence would be here and that you would inspire, uplift, encourage. I pray that you would bless each person who is here tonight. I pray particularly for those who are in front of me, that you would give them wisdom, that you would give them courage, that you would give them vision. We thank you and we give you praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
May we remain standing, please, for the pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will do a roll call. Starting with Commissioner Daniel Williams.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I think we're approving the agenda.
Okay.
I just wanted to make note, and we'll address it as the item comes up, but we will be recommending the removal of item A, appointment to the Citizen Advisory Task Force under committee reports and committee appointments and announcements. There was an advertising error, and it was advertised as one vacancy for that board, but since that initial advertisement, we actually had one member off the board and one actually passed away. And so we felt like if it would be better to re-advertise for that. So we do have 3 applicants, but just on off chance that with the 3 applicants or the 3 vacancies that we might get more applicants. When we get to that, the deputy city clerk will handle that.
Thank you. Now we'll have a roll call. Commissioner. Do you motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
It has been moved in second. We will proceed with our agenda. Approval read and proposed ordinance and oh, I'm sorry. Y'all forgive me. It's open up for public to make a comment. You have 3 minutes. You state your name.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, staff. My name is Tamara Robbins. Question to the mayor and the commissioners: is this the any amendments besides what the city manager asked to be pulled off? Is the motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Okay. Okay, I'm going to speak to to this agenda, this motion. There's a public hearing scheduled on this agenda, right, which is for the adoption of a law. And this agenda, this public hearing notice for the adoption of a law was not posted in the normal places where it usually is. And I don't know if it was searchable on the city website, but usually the agendas are posted at the post office on Thursday. They are at the library, and they are also outside City Hall. That was not the case with this agenda. It was posted at the post office this morning, but it was not there last night, and it wasn't there Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So somehow it got out there this morning, but that was not sufficient time for the public to be noticed that there was going to be a major change to land usages in the city as adopted by law from this board. So when you get to this item, I can speak to this again, but it hasn't been properly advertised in my mind. I think it was published probably in the local newspaper, but it was not posted. And why that didn't happen, I've lived here many years. That's the first time I've ever seen an agenda, or not seen, an agenda not posted at the post office. It always is, it's precedent set that is where the agenda is, if no place else it gets posted, and it wasn't posted there, nor was it outside City Hall. And also the library, previously, the procedure was that the library also was provided a full copy of the backup material in a binder format for the public to have access to that hard copy after Thursday. So that would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're open every day. So that would give the public access to that hard copy, and people who don't have the internet and go in there and use the internet too, they would have access. But that's not happening anymore either. And in fact, the binder that's in there right now is dated for the March 24th meeting. And it's a very limited amount of information now. It's essentially what you put on the back, like this, is what's in that binder. So I'd really like to see you all address what are the posting procedures that are being practiced. And I think that the ordinance that you're going to be reading needs to be addressed at that time. I think you need to defer it because it wasn't properly provided public notice. Thank you.
Is there any?
Commissioners, I am Leanne Williams, Deputy City Clerk. And yes, I will tell you that the meeting did not get posted in the proper locations until this morning, and it was an error on my department, my office. In 9 years, this is the first time that we have forgotten it laid on the printer, and I apologize. I accept responsibility for that. It is our office that did that. So if you would like to make changes, I leave it to you. It was posted on the city's website. It was advertised in the newspaper. Those are, those, and it was given to the board appropriately.
Mr. Mayor, in hearing that, and I would recommend deferring to, but we will also address that item when it comes up on the agenda.
I apologize.
Madam City Attorney, do I need to amend my motion
Going to accept it?
to
No, because
approve the agenda?
we are going to address the agenda, everything's gonna be on it, we're gonna address and we'll get to it, so yes, it stays as it was. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. So we have a motion and a second on the floor.
Now we'll move back to our regular, the roll call. I'm sorry. Oh, y'all, please forgive me. We'll take a vote on the motion that was spoken. And I will call out first Commissioner Dan Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Jacob Fletcher,
But I'm just kind of confused, Mr. Mayor. What am I saying aye to?
To the agenda as is printed, we're going through the agenda as we have it here.
Okay, aye.
Commissioner Jennifer Williamson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Shirley Green Brown,
Aye.
and I myself, Walter Welch, as mayor, vote aye. Now, we'll move on to the agenda at hand. And first, the agenda at hand, let's move to the agenda special presentation. 1A, Give Cooper Day proclamation.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, but I think you skipped approve the reading of proposed ordinances and resolutions by title only. We need to do that first.
Oh, approve reading of the proposed ordinance and regulate resolution of the title only. Special presentation.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved in second. Now we will- So we'll take a vote on that. And we will start with Commissioner Jacob Fletcher,
Aye.
Commissioner Jennifer,
Aye.
and Commissioner Dana Williams,
Aye.
and Vice Mayor Shirley Green Brown,
Aye.
and the mayor as myself vote aye. Now we will move the special presentation. 1A. And the first, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, that's fine, thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. DeRozan Rush, I'm Tamara Logan, Human Resources Director. The item for you this evening is a Give Carper Day proclamation. In recognition of his service to the City Commission for 23 years, the city will declare May 5th, 2025 as Give Carper Day. He will be presented with a plaque and a framed copy of the proclamation. Recommended action is for the mayor to read the proclamation into the record, and then I'm sure we'll have a photo op afterwards to present the proclamation and the plaque for his service.
Thank you. I would like for our city attorney to read the proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas Gilbert Gibb Kerper has been a resident and homeowner in the City of Alachua since 1974, ran unopposed for the Alachua City Commission in 1999, and has served as the City of Alachua residents for over 20 years. And whereas he was the first elected mayor in 2010 and previously held the office in 2001 and 2007, having served as the city's mayor for 17 of his 20-plus years on the City Commission. And whereas his dedication and service to the community extended beyond his official duties as mayor and commissioner, he served in various civic and professional organizations such as the Alachua Lions Club, Florida League of Cities Nominating Committee, Alachua Chamber of Commerce, and North Central Florida Regional Planning Council, to name a few. He was awarded the 2013 Volunteer of the Year Award by Alachua Chamber of Commerce and recipient of the 2024 E. Harris June Municipal Lifetime Achievement Award by the Florida League of Cities. Mr. Kerper continues to advocate for programs designed to serve the community's youth and serves as a mentor with our local schools. Whereas the City of Alachua would like to express its gratitude and appreciation to Gibb Kerper for his dedicated service to the Good Life community and offer wishes for many years of happiness and good health as he embarks on a new chapter of his life to enjoy the fruits of his labor in his retirement. I'm going to let the mayor take this very last line.
Now therefore, I, Walter Welch, Mayor of the City of Alachua, representing the city in the City Commission, do hereby proclaim May the 5th, 2025 as Give Cooper Day.
And if I could just very quickly, I never knew your first name was Gil.
Three steps.
Hello, everyone. This is actually my 51st year for being in the City of Alachua, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life is moving here. Buying my house in 1974, and the wonderful people that have been here. It has been so easy to volunteer and do work in the City of Alachua because everybody appreciated it when you did something, and to work with the schools. A town our size for a long time has the whole school system here. It has been a pleasure and an honor to work with all the schools and tutor and work with them to make them something better, and the principals and everything like that. They want people to come in and volunteer and help the kids out, and that's been a real treat. And making the kids laugh, that's even better. So I just want to say to everybody that, especially this weekend, about cleaning up the City of Alachua and making it better. It's been going on for many years. There's nothing better than volunteers to come out and help make this city a better place to live and a more friendly place to live. And I will never ever say that, like I said, it's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life is moving up here. It's only 1 square mile. It was huge then, huge, really huge. And but no, and to watch it grow and the positivity that's been happening here has been a real treat also, and everybody being involved in our staff. I want to thank you very much. You've been a wonderful staff. And but it's been, like I said, it's been a wonderful time, and thank you very much for this. It's been very much appreciated.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Gibb. I just would like to say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your love for this community. Thank you for being the kind of individual that you are, who gives all of the good life community. You set an example for many of us, and I hope that many of the citizens here, our commission, will follow and know the kind of leader that you are. I will miss you, but I know I'll see you with that camera somewhere taking a picture. So again, thank you for the many years you have given to the City of Alachua. My blessings to you.
Well, thank you. I don't plan on quitting, helping out and being involved. And I really appreciate that because, there's more things to do just because you're not sitting up there right there. There's many things, good things to do. So I appreciate that very much.
Mr. Mayor, if I may say a couple words. Gib, you are just the example of a civil servant. There's a difference between a politician and a civil servant, and you represent civil servant. The knowledge and history of the City of Alachua, you've forgotten more than I'll ever know. You represent, I have traveled with you to League of Cities meetings. You represented Alachua everywhere. Everyone knows Gib Kerper. Everyone knows that you were City of Alachua. And even though sometimes you and I didn't always agree and we butted heads, I have the utmost respect for you. You were a mentor. You have always been a good friend. And you certainly have set the example for future mayors and future commissioners on how to carry themselves. Although we won't be able to keep up with your gator hair hat or your orange and blue mustache or maybe some of those things. Your fake tattoos. But what I would like to see is, I know you said you're still going to be around, but what I would like to be able to call you is, and it might be unofficial, but I would like you to be the ambassador, the unofficial ambassador for the City of Alachua. And I want to see you at our ribbon cuttings and our groundbreakings and shaking hands. And I don't ever want you to stop representing Alachua, even though it might be in a different role. So, and I hope that everyone on this dais would agree with that we would want you to be ambassador. And so from now on, and that's what I'm going to call you, is the City of Alachua's ambassador. I do hope you get to spend more time with your granddaughter. I know she is the love of your life, and I understand how that feels. And but I just wanted you to know from the bottom of my heart how much it meant to serve with you on this dais, what an honor and a privilege it was. And I learned so much from you. And I'll never forget that. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of it.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, I'm going to echo everything that was just said and not to cry because I'm sometimes a crybaby, but the children, my children still talk about you. My kids are way older, 25, and they still remember all your days through Irving, Alachua, and Levain, and your fist bumps and your connections and your tutoring and helping. I hope you continue to be that face for our schools every single day, at least once or twice a week. Sometimes you're doing it every day, but I couldn't be more proud to call you our mayor all these years, and we're really blessed to have you, and you set a standard that is very high for a servant, and that's proud to work alongside of you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Kerber, could you speak into the microphone?
Turn it on.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'm going to miss your wonderful wardrobe, your t-shirt that you have looking like you have a suit on, giving me heart attacks when we're going to court, and I'm wondering what you're going to be wearing. And you have always been a pleasure.
I never wore shorts though.
That is true. I will give him, in public, I will attest to that. He never wore shorts, but he always made life interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I thank you, and I'm just overwhelmed with your legacy. I'm like, oh my goodness. I know your feet is way bigger than mine. And I'm like, wow, these are big shoes right here. But I appreciate all that I heard about you and all that I seen you as, I was a citizen. I seen you walk around. I seen you in the schoolhouses. I see you have a very passion for the young people, and I admire that of you. And I hope with all my heart that I can even have your approval of you doing a good job. And I thank you for all the service that you have served.
Listen, it was never, ever a job for me. It was, I wanted people to get to know me, and it wasn't, they didn't have to call me mayor. They could call me Gil anytime they wanted to, and I kept looking around, kept talking to them. But the idea is, you're serving the city, you're serving them, and you're having fun doing it. And I never, ever thought it was a job. I always enjoyed what I did and working with people. That was the treat of it all. So, thank you very much.
I keep that in mind, and they're gonna take it to work for him.
Thank you very much.
Now we have a proclamation for the service of Ed Potts.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. DeRosa, Ms. Brush, Chair Malone, Human Resources Director. The item before you this evening is a service recognition for Ed Potts in appreciation for his service to the City Commissioner. Mr. Potts was presented with a plaque from the City of Alachua for his service. He had intended on being here this evening. Unfortunately, we received word this morning, sends his regrets, but he is unable to attend. So I'm sure we will make arrangements. The City Manager will follow with him to make sure that he's received his plaque. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have a special presentation for the National Poetry Month. You'll find that on C.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. I'm Leanne Williams, Deputy City Clerk. National Poetry Month, launched by the Academy of American Poets in April of 1996, is a powerful celebration of the vital role poets play in our culture. This significant occasion has blossomed into the largest literary celebration in the world, reminding us of poetry's importance in our lives. Through poetry, we deepen our appreciation of the world around us and nurture empathy for one another. The recommended action is for Mayor Welch to read the proclamation.
Thank you. Now we have the reading of a proclamation from our city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. National Poetry Month Proclamation. Whereas National Poetry Month seeks to highlight the extraordinary legacy and ongoing achievement of American poets, introduce Americans to the pleasures and benefits of reading poetry as an important part of our children's education, and whereas National Poetry Month, under the leadership and direction of the Academy of American Poets, is now the largest literary celebration in the world. Whereas poetry enhances and enriches the lives of all Americans, and poetry as an essential part of the arts and humanities affects every aspect of life in America today, including education, the economy, and community pride development. And whereas poetry has produced some of the nation's leading creative artists and has inspired other artists in music, theater, film, dance, and visual arts. Whereas it is proper for city officials, educators, and citizens to observe this month, celebrate the cultural riches of our community has to offer, and recognize the vital role of poetry within our community.
Now therefore, I, Walter Welch, Mayor of the City of Alachua, presiding the city in the city commission, do hereby proclaim April as National Poetry Month.
I know that the poet, Alachua County Poet Laureate, Stanley Richardson, was invited tonight. Is he here? Oh, wonderful.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners, Madam City Attorney, City Manager Rosa. Thank you so much for recognizing April as National Poetry Month, and especially thank you to Commissioner Williams. Thank you so much. Poetry is very important to me, and I try to my best to spread creative writing and poetry to citizens throughout the county and most of Florida. One of the things that we'll be doing moving forward, we just got a disturbing report from the UF Lassiter City stating that a lot of our students in Alachua County suffer from declining literacy rates. So moving forward, we would like to use poetry as a mechanism, poetry and creative writing to address the declining literacy rates here, especially in Alachua County. Some of our students who are struggling with writing and reading comprehension. So that's one of the things that I want to do, using poetry. It worked for me as a kid when I was growing up here in Alachua. One of the things that was difficult for me was poets. I figured if I was growing up now, it would probably have me on some attention medications. These words would just come to my head and just move so fast that I started writing as a mechanism to just capture words, to slow them down long enough for me to make sense out of it. So that's how I started writing as a young student here in the city of Alachua. So with other students just like me, and I encourage them. Poetry is a great mechanism because it's short. For me, someone like me whose attention is not very long, easily gets distracted, poetry, you can write a haiku in 3 sentences. Or, you can write it to write it, and it doesn't take that much time, it's compact. So I try to use that. And a lot of times with young students who are maybe intimidated by words on the page, and you can look at a page and it's all these words that may frighten some students who may not be comfortable reading. With poetry and creative writing, you can pretty much do what you want to do on a written page. You can spread words out, line breaks, maybe these funky line breaks or sentences, short, long, and have a lot of space. Whereas a child who may look at that and may not be as intimidated by a page full of words. So we try to use poetry as a mechanism for young students to introduce them to reading and writing and may not be intimidated to them. So that's what I do. So thank you so much for recognizing National Poetry Month and the poets and artists all over Alachua County, Richmond, Florida. So thank you.
Mr. Mayor, could we get a picture with Mr. Richardson with his certificate?
This is not going to be mine. I thank the city of Alachua. This is home for me. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Alachua. I grew up here back when we just had that one traffic light and dirt roads.
So before we do the picture, I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Richardson. I didn't learn about you and your story until recently, about like 6 months ago.
You still don't know the whole story.
Well, some of that, at least what's in the video. But there was a line that you said, "What are we but poets upon life's grand stage?" And it really struck a chord with me, and I started dabbling in reading poetry. And I was just last night at the Colored and Culture event, listening to some beautiful poets by women and their life experience, and it really kind of spoke with me about how poetry and how it. So I really want to thank you for that, and I want to thank your wife for encouraging you and supporting you on this
I
endeavor.
would take it too.
Because she, my father, so thank you.
So it's what are we but breath and thought, a magnificent heap of unborn worlds waiting to be made alive. What are we but poets upon this grand stage? I think that's what we're referring to.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Richardson, you have written some beautiful pieces. You have assisted us with the Alachua County Community Remembrance Project with your poetry. Anytime I hear your works, is extraordinary. So thank you for being an Alachua guy.
Alachua.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, Commissioner. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the Mayor Welch and the commissioners and Mr. DeRosa. And thank you so much for honoring the arts and the literary arts in particular. My background, I started in Alachua County, not from Alachua, from Gainesville, but started in the arts as a young child, 8 years old, was kind of shy, and then I found my place in the theater, and literally changed my world. So I want to thank you all so much for what you do. But I also want to let you know that this month is National Historic Preservation Month. And so throughout the month, we want to kind of make, notice some of the buildings and places that represent Alachua County as we go throughout the month to recognize not only the arts, but also the historical buildings that we have in the architecture. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we will move on to special presentation 1B, Peace Officer Memorial Day.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Madam City Attorney, Mr. City Manager, Jesse J. Sandusky, Chief of Police of the Alachua Police Department. We have a busy month, a lot of awesome proclamations this month, and I just want to tack one on to it. So, in 1963, the United States Congress and President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which it falls as National Police Week. This is a time that we honor each and every law enforcement officer across the country that has given the ultimate sacrifice in service to their communities and the citizens whom they took an oath to protect. I'd also like to mention that also this week on Thursday is the countywide law enforcement memorial on Thursday night at 7 p.m. at the Veterans Memorial Park. And I personally invite each and every commissioner and city staff and the public if they'd like to join. It is open to the public. It's going to be Thursday evening at 7 p.m. It's going to be Veterans Memorial Park. And that is when we recognize all the officers, deputies, state officers, canines that have died in the line of duty in Alachua County, surrounding areas, and we also recognize those in the state of Florida. Correct. Yes. So at this time, move the recommended actions for the mayor.
Well, I was going to go ahead and read the proclamation. With your permission, Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
Peace Officers Memorial Day Proclamation. Whereas in 1963, the Congress of the United States and President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which it falls as National Police Week. And whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated men and women of the Alachua Police Department. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 23,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and died or have been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the members of the Alachua Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of the City of Alachua. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their law enforcement agencies, and that members of the Alachua Police Department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, protecting them against violence or disorder, protecting the innocent against deception, and protecting the weak against oppression or intimidation.
Now therefore, I, Walter Welch, Mayor of the City of Alachua, representing the city and the city commission, do hereby proclaim May 15, 2025 as Peace Officer Memorial Day.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner.
now we have moved to this analyzed report from FY 2024 through 2025 through March 31, 2025.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. City Manager, Madam City Attorney. My name is Tyler Williams, I'm the County Manager, and tonight I'm going to present the fiscal analysis report through March 31st of the current fiscal year. With that said, I will define some of the key terms we're using throughout this presentation. Fiscal year is the period beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending September 30th, 2025. Amended budget is the budget including all changes since the beginning of the fiscal year. Period benchmark is the percentage of the fiscal year that has transpired through March 31st, that is 50%. Encumbrances are funds committed for future expenses. The breakdown of budget by fund type is displayed here. The general fund and enterprise funds account for about 85% of the total budget. The amended fiscal year 25 budget, $67,378,713. Moving on to the individual fund types, the general fund primary revenue source are taxes, which accounts for about 48% of all general fund revenues. The general fund provides the resources necessary to provide for the city's main governmental functions. The amended budget is $20,647,082, currently the same as the adopted budget. The funding sources are at 79%, expenses are at 49%, and encumbrances are at 11%. Moving on to the special revenue funds, the primary revenue source are intergovernmental revenue related to the CRA and the taxes associated with the infrastructure tax and wealth spaces public places funds. Those three funds account for approximately 91% of the special revenue budget. The amended budget is $4,789,616. Funding sources are at 81%, expenses are at 13%, and encumbrances are at 3%. Next is the debt service fund, with a primary revenue source that is comprised of interfund transfers that provides all general obligation current debt payments. Currently, the only general government debt is the Series 2016. The amended budget is $797,657. Sources of funding are at 100%. Expenses are also at 100%. The next fund type are the capital project funds. The primary revenue source in this fund type are from intergovernmental sources. The amended budget is $40,414. Funding sources are 100%. Expenses are 89%. And encumbrances are 19%. The enterprise funds are supported through charges for services in the form of user fees. This fund type encompasses all of the city's utility services. The amended budget is $36,859,984. Funding sources are at 63%, expenses are 34%, and encumbrances are at 15%. Lastly is the internal service fund type, with the primary revenue source being charges for services. These are in the form of transfers from the enterprise fund, as the primary purpose is to provide support to enterprise fund activities. The amended budget is $4,243,960. Funding sources are at 100%, expenses are at 42%, and encumbrances are at 2%. The original budget for the current fiscal year was $67,363,713. And the amended fiscal year 25 budget is $67,378,713. As of the end of March, 72% of funding sources are accounted for, with 46% expended and 4% encumbered. The city's total investment portfolio is just under $1.8 million, with the SBA at approximately $1.2 million, the money market and certificate of deposit totaling approximately $552,000. Our cash holdings are just under $33.2 million. In conclusion, the city's revenues and expenses are aligned with our budgetary fiscal plan. Please keep in mind that the budget is just a plan, and if needed, we are able to make adjustments as we go along. The bulk of the tax revenue has been received, that's between December and February. Audit for fiscal year 24 was completed and presented to you at the April 7th commission meeting. Since it has been submitted to GFOA for board consideration, I'll be happy to entertain any questions you may have at this time.
Is there any questions?
I guess I'll start off. I apologize, I didn't get your name at the beginning.
Mr. Mayor, my name is Tyler Williams. I'm the county manager of the City of Alachua.
Thank you, Tyler. There was a spot on there where it said we were 108% over expenditures. Can you just let us know what's going on with that?
Yes, so that's in the capital projects funds. Currently, the 108% is in regards to a grant that we have from the State of Florida Department of Commerce, Community Development Block Grant for economic development related to the Ben E. Keith Distribution Center. Currently, that encumbrance is for an environmental review. We have an award from the State of Florida, we just did not come to the commission yet to appropriate that funding.
Okay, so it's not a concern for us.
Correct.
Awesome. And then there was another question I have regarding our ARPA funding. We have $2.5 million on ARPA funding, is that correct? Sorry, I'm trying to look at that stuff.
Yes, there's approximately $2.5 million from ARPA funding remaining last year.
And has that, we haven't expended that yet, or is that money already allocated towards the wellhead? Because I believe there was comments regarding ARPA funding for the new wellhead. Is that for that, or is that for something else?
Mr. Mayor, currently that approximately $2.5 million is cash in the bank. There is a purchase order encumbrance for that $2.5 million that is strictly related to the wellhead project. The wellhead cost significantly more than that $2.5 million. I believe we've spent approximately half of our ARPA funding, and it has all gone towards that wellhead. This remaining $2.5 million is allocated towards that as well.
Okay, So it's all going towards not one line, right?
That is correct, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Is there any more questions? If not, we'll move.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Is a comment from the city on the subject, not on the agenda. And please limit it to 3 minutes. And any citizen who is not unable to speak at this time will have an opportunity to speak at the end of the meeting.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Attorney, City Manager. Okay. My name is Michelle Lee, and I'm the owner of the Life Station on Main Street, and I serve on both boards, the Alachua Business League and the Alachua Chamber. I'm here tonight as a voice for many of the local businesses. I'm asking for the Commission to consider amending the city's alcohol ordinance, specifically restrictions on bar and lounges within a certain distance of churches on Main Street. The current limitation is blocking the kind of establishments like breweries and wine bars that can help revitalize the Main Street by bringing in more foot traffic to support our shops and retail businesses. We're not asking for nightlife district. We're asking to create a vibrant, walkable destination that encourages people to stay, shop, dine, and enjoy Alachua. Responsible establishments like breweries and tasting rooms are a draw, not a disruption. I've personally brought potential tenants to vacant Main Street properties, people ready to invest in our community, only to hear the city isn't really open for business. This has to change if we want to stop losing our local dollars to other towns. We've been told churches would sign off, we've been told the city was open to revisiting the ordinance, and last year we even met with the planning department and were told they would follow up after speaking with city manager, and we never heard from them. Only recently has Carson stopped and with true leadership, despite no team, he's met with us 3 times with code book in hand, looking for solutions, and we are grateful. But we shouldn't have to fight this hard for the kind of growth our community is asking for. It's time to move beyond the talk. I respectfully ask the city update the ordinance, and let's align our policies with the vision we say we have for our Main Street and work together to make a place where both businesses and community can thrive. I thank you for your time and appreciation tonight. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Julie Smith, and I wasn't going to speak tonight except for what Michelle said. I don't know if you guys have your joint meeting with Alachua County, but recently they just adopted a new ordinance that will allow people who breweries to be able to serve and be able to sell their product on site. So those would be able to be done in agricultural and commercial and different zones. So basically, if you have a brewery, you made it on site, you could go there and you could taste it, and they could sell it on site. You wouldn't be able to buy a Budweiser, but you would be able to buy a craft beer. These ordinances were passed approximately a month ago for the county, and they will be asking that some of the cities follow suit. We have 7 breweries that have gone around Alachua County. I'm just looking 7, and they brought over 16,000 people to those breweries to support local home brewery. These breweries are not nightlife. They're craft beers. They're made from from products that are from here, whether it be a peach or an apple. The Husband's Brewery, the Daft Cow. You don't hear about, bad things happening there. It's not a bar style. It's more of an enjoyment, a pleasure. Anyways, that was just passed recently with the county, and I would ask that you guys look into that and possibly trying to, go along with their guidance of what they did. And this would allow, wineries and stuff to be able to, if they brew it sell on the site. And it's just one step forward. Like Michelle says, anything to keep the small businesses alive and not create a night life. We're not doing nightlife, we're doing like enjoyment. So a lot of farmers markets that happen on Wednesday night at Death Cow and down there. And it's just nice to have a craft beer and get good. It's just something to consider.
Mr. Mayor, I'm just going to announce this, and I will say it again in my comments, but the joint city-county commission meeting will be at our next meeting on May 19th at 6 o'clock, and we'll follow that immediately with our regular city commission meeting.
Now we will have.
Hi. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. My name is Shasta Shelhorn. I'm proud to speak tonight not only as a local resident, but also as someone who serves on the local Alachua boards and works in the commercial real estate field to assist businesses in finding their home in our community. I want to echo and expand on the comments made earlier in support of updating the city's alcohol ordinance. From a real estate and economic development standpoint, Main Street has so much potential, but the current restrictions are holding us back from attracting responsible, experience-driven tenants like breweries and wine bars. These kinds of establishments are proving to help energize downtown areas. They bring steady foot traffic, support local shops and restaurants, reduce vacancies, and raise property values. The goal here is not to change for the sake of change. It's to create a welcoming, walkable, and thriving destination where both businesses and residents can benefit. This is about aligning our policies with the future we envision for Main Street and giving our community the tools to grow intentionally and sustainably. Thank you for your time and commitment to our community's future.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mandy Bucci. I only had my business downtown Main Street here for 1 year, but I came from downtown Ocala for 8 years. And as soon as I got here to Alachua, I realized what a beautiful, charming area this is, and I absolutely love every day that we've lived here. So we sold our home in Ocala and moved here 4 years ago. And it's where we want to, I tell everyone it's where I want to die. This is where we want to live, nest, and die. So thank you guys for helping make that happen as well. But I'm here, I'm a doer, I'm a go-getter. And so the first thing I noticed, being almost a whole year of being open on Main Street, is that we need a farmer's market. We need a farmer's market back to Main Street to bring the community back together. We need our local farmers not afraid to come out and sell their produce on the street. We need to support each other. Now at the time of our nation is in more than ever. We need to support each other. So in with Michelle's ordinance change, I'm going to complete approval of this, and would also ask to also consider closing one block of Main Street to dedicate to a future farmers market, to the future ordinance change, to the future growth of Main Street. It will cost very little and take very little, but I guarantee you have a lot of people behind you, including the community of people that we live with and that work here every day, that want this to be a thriving Main Street again. I believe and I hear all the stories that it once was, and I want to bring that back. It has to. So take some of that budget money and let's earmark it for a bunch of plans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, staff. My name is Tamara Robbins. Well, I agree with everything the previous speaker said. I'm going to take it a step further. The city has invested a lot of money in paving a lot of the downtown. There's a lot of parking behind the businesses. And years past, the downtown was reconfigured, there were trees torn out, the street was curved. And so it's really, really hot down there in the summertime. There's barely any shade. My suggestion is you close down that block downtown permanently. You tear up the street, you plant some shade trees down the middle, you let the businesses come out into the center, you get rid of the cars down the middle of the faces of the buildings so that pedestrians can sit on the sidewalk, or businesses can extend their seating areas out, right? And then you have people park behind the businesses and they walk out and they enjoy a pedestrian-friendly downtown where you can sit out and have a beer and not be breathing exhaust fumes or looking at somebody's love bug coated grill on their truck, right? Like, we really make this downtown and then plant those shade trees and get the shade back in the downtown so that you can bear being down there during the summer. There used to be the Friday evening thing, you know, Friday Fun Day or whatever, it was down there for a while. But it was so blazing hot down there, you just couldn't stand to be down there. It's all asphalt. So I think that's a great idea, but I think it's going to take some drastic changes. I think that's what should be done so that businesses can move out into a pedestrian corridor and really make it a place where people can walk and enjoy, especially the evening time when a lot of people want to come out and enjoy a little bit of the cooler weather after a hot summer day. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Annie Welch. I heard everything about the future growth of Alachua. I just come up to ask that we keep in mind Main Street is the center of business for Alachua, but it's not all of Alachua. I would like to see some growth and some progress took place on the north side of Alachua. I don't want to see the town divided and one side get left behind the other. Residents are being built, but there are no businesses coming to the north side except for right in the area. We have Publix and Lowe's and all of those, but what are the future plans for the north side of 441 and the city line out in Alachua? And also, I ask that you consider bringing back some type of form of public transportation for those that don't have transportation to get to and from Gainesville, especially medical appointments or any business type meetings. That's it.
Good evening, all. Thank you very much. Rudy Rothside here. Thank you, Ms. Annie, for bringing that up. I think it's very important that our businesses do cross over 441 and continue up on our Main Street on the north side as well. And it's a very important part that gets forgotten a lot. And thank you for bringing that back up. I also agree with you about the transportation. There are some citizens in our group that need some help with that. Uber might not be the best thing for them, especially for getting into, I guess you're gonna have to go to the Social Security office and turn in your card to make sure you get your benefits and stuff these days and things that way. I've brought this up at advisory board meetings. I've thought that closing parts of Main Street for events, for things is great, but maybe having a more permanent area closed. I know some businesses would not like that, but I think that would lead to some wonderful potentials for more walkability, more hanging out, more activities on Main Street. I like the idea of, we have a lot of churches on Main Street. I love that we do, but it also makes a hindrance in regard of some alcohol consumption. I think that the churches, I have some rental property. Sometimes a neighbor has a church is a wonderful thing because they're only there on 2 days a week, but that's not good for Main Street, having things occupied very potentially high volume places for 2 days a week. I also like to continue on the thoughts of opening different things within our city, of not just being for alcohol consumption, but there are many individuals who go to Gainesville for medical marijuana dispensaries. And if, we're gonna look at different things that way, those are different avenues that might be to bring people into our area that would use those type of products. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for all of what you do. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend the cleanup on Saturday. We had a fun soccer Saturday in High Springs, and I will look to continue volunteering for our city and helping out. I hope, what was that one last thing? Nonetheless, they'll come to me later. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful week.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Nick Carter. I own multiple alcohol producing establishments. I was born and raised here. I would love nothing more to open something here in Alachua. I've tried and tried, it just hasn't happened. I've gone to other cities and done kind of the same thing. I want to do it here. If you can think about the orange change, I would be very grateful. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Soria Lindbergh. These are such great ideas tonight. I never would have thought about the farmers markets or the breweries. I have friends in Gainesville. We go every weekend. We sit at a brewery and they have game nights. We go to the farmers markets in Gainesville on Monday. I go to the farmers market in Alachua on Saturday. I would love to have something closer. I also love the idea of closing a part of Main Street where families can come. We have to have shade put on our hats. It looks terrible in photos, but we have to do it. But Gainesville did this during COVID. They shut down parts of Main Street in front of Lucy's where they have a giant parking garage, and now it's permanent. And it gets so busy. They have music nights. Bingo on Monday, it's packed. Hundreds of people go there. It's one of their biggest nights. So having some kind of option like that in the future would be so exciting. And then my friends can come here and spend the money. We're always going over there, and I don't mind. But it would be nice to come show off. I'm just trying to get them to come to the horse farm and get some ice cream, check out the stores. So another great idea, I did not know about the library binder. Quick side step, I do want to thank Carson and Leanne and people who have been copied on my emails so much for helping me learn the ropes of how we operate in the process of that. I don't want to ever be a disruption. I want to play by your rules. So if there was a library binder, I can go on the weekend, look at it, because when things are announced on Thursday, I have to wait until Monday and find the stuff, or wait until before it's there. So if it's there, we can casually look at it, make copies, what we want. And this brings me to an idea I want to float for you guys to consider. If there is a resource, I would love to be pointed to it, like how things happen here. How do things start? There's an application. Does it go to it goes to the planning and zoning board, but then I'm so new to this that, like, for example, I didn't know the golf course is not coming to the commission level because of the square footage. It's staying at the planning and zoning board. I didn't know that. I had to learn the hard way what a quasi-judicial hearing meant, what an effective party meant. There was one hearing where I was an effective party, but I didn't understand, so I spoke later, which is fine. This is how I learned. But if there's some kind of seminar that can come together, or a fact sheet, there's no way we could encompass Carson's education and dedication and learning to this and all the work you guys put in. You guys work longer hours than anyone I know. 7:30 to 6, 4 days a week, so, and beyond that too. But if there's like a fact sheet, we could turn it into a video, or just have people come to the library and just people speak to how we do things. I would just love that kind of opportunity. And cleanup day was great. I picked up trash with the mayor, and I learned that the park we're at was named after his first cousin. It was beautiful. There's barely any trash. My kid was excited to get pig skating. She just wanted to pick up trash. And I know all the swag that goes into it.
Thank you so very much. Now we will move on to committee report, committee appointments, city announcements. We heard in Item A, the appointment to the City Advisory Task Force. It has been requested to be removed. Is there a motion?
I will motion to remove the appointed City Citizen Advisory Task Force.
Mr. Mayor, just so everybody's clear before they make a motion and vote, we did discuss earlier what a date certain would look like,
Yes.
given the advertisement. So if I could get Deputy City Clerk to say that, then I'll get out of your way.
Mr. Mayor, it's going to be re-advertised, so we are not doing it to a date certain like this.
I did the calculations today. It was going to be on June the 23rd, 3 meeting dates from now. We will have 2 advertisements, we'll have a period of applications coming in, and then a week for us to prepare the item. So that gives us plenty of time.
Okay, I'm just saying that because you have to advertise it, it's
That's
not
2 weeks of advertising.
Are you okay
So
with that,
you-
City Attorney?
Well, so you're trying to change, what we were just really doing was taking it off of this agenda, so.
Okay.
I'm just confused at what you're doing now.
Mr. Mayor, I think we would have to re-advertise because right now the current advertisement says 1 vacancy, and so that has changed to 3. So we would have to re-advertise, and so a lot of time would put us, as Deputy City Clerk said, June 23rd.
But all I'm saying is if we're going to be advertising it, then we're just taking it off and we are going to be putting it on the agenda and advertising it just like an item.
That's true, that's true.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification.
So, Mr. Mayor, we have a motion and a second. I think it'd be appropriate to open it to comments from the floor.
Is there any comments on the floor on the motion to remove it for right now?
Well, actually, it's more of a question, in Welch again, lifelong resident in Alachua. Today is May, and this is the first week in May. Will there be enough time for next month to adequately, interview and maybe, 'cause you said 3 positions, right?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we've already received 3 applications, so that would give more time for other applications to come in.
Okay, that was my.
Yeah, the decision for who gets appointed wouldn't be made until the meeting. So that would give more people an opportunity to turn in applications.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, we'll move for the motion to take a vote. And I will start with Commissioner Dana Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Jacob Fletcher.
Aye.
Commissioner Jennifer Ringerson.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Shirley Brown.
Aye.
And I myself will vote aye as Walter Welch as mayor.
Thank you so much.
Now we'll move to public hearing in ordinance A.4.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, that was, item A, that's ordinance 25-05.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, because of the lack of posting and the normal routine basis, the recommendation would be to defer that.
Mr. City Manager, I would prefer to go through the normal procedure of the hearing and provide that recommendation at the end of my presentation.
Absolutely.
Would you like me to go ahead then and read the ordinance? Okay, this is ordinance 25-05, an ordinance of the City of Alachua, Florida relating to the amendment of the city's land development regulations, LDRs, amending subpart B of the City of Alachua Code of Ordinances, land development regulations, amending Article 2 relating to the powers and duties of the Planning and Zoning Board, amending Article 3 relating to the permitted density and intensity and purposes of the business districts, amending Article 4 relating to the use-specific standards and the creation of mixed-use specific standards, amending Article 5 relating to the permitted density and intensity of the business districts and establishing dimensional standards for mixed-use development, amending Article 6 relating to the off-street parking and loading standards and tree protection and landscaping standards for mixed-use development, amending Article 10 relating to the definition of development area and mixed use, providing a repealing clause, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. This is a reading of ordinance 25-05 of the City of Alachua by title only.
Mr. Mayor, before Mr. Crockett starts his presentation, I need clarification on procedure here. So Mr. Crockett's going to give his presentation, and then we're going to make a motion to defer this to a future meeting. That's procedurally, that's all we're doing tonight on this. I don't know, city manager, city attorney, somebody.
I'll be happy to speak to this because it is, the advertising that was done does comply with Florida Statute 166.041. However, the comments that were made do describe the manner in which we usually have done notification. And therefore, it was my understanding from what was said that you were going to do your presentation, but there was still going to be a motion to defer this item.
Mr. Mayor, the original recommendation from staff is still applicable if you would like to move forward with that as the commission. It is approvable by statute. However, the recommendation from staff will be to defer following their presentation.
So essentially what's going to happen here is there will be 3 presentations of this because we will still have to do 2 presentations. I guess in the event people were here for this and may not be able to come again.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Just a question for Carson. Carson, do you want my questions at this meeting or the following?
I mean, in the procedure, this is a legislative hearing. You are welcome to ask, Mr. Mayor, the commission is welcome to ask questions of staff at this time, and public comment will still occur at the normal point at which a motion is made.
But the comments from the public would be only regarding deferring this. It would not be about this.
Mr.
ordinance.
Mayor, if that's the motion made
Yes.
by the commission.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm only one of 5. I mean, in my view, I will reserve my questions for the next meeting, assuming that this is going to be deferred after your presentation. I'm just make that note.
Mr. Mayor, so would I, and I still question why we sent it tonight if we're going to defer it.
Mr. Mayor, the guidelines for a legislative hearing are set forth in the land development regulations, and this would be a process to receive the presentation on behalf of the LDR administrator prior to making a motion. Unless the city attorney has any other recommendations.
City attorney, could you comment
But
on
I
that?
believe that the motion is going to be to defer it, so the entire presentation will be made at the next meeting, will be deferred to that. Well, it'll be deferred to a date certain, but there's still gonna have to be 2 meetings. If you wish to do the presentation, you can. We're not open to public comment.
Point of procedure for the mayor, I'm sorry, I can't see. Is there a motion on this right now?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay, so I do believe that, again, if staff wants to make their presentation, they can make their presentation, then we will still go on to defer it to the date certain.
Mr. Mayor, my presentation is on behalf of the LDR administrator. I'll defer to the LDR administrator whether to present or not tonight.
I'm okay with the presentation being made at the first and second reading.
Thank you. It is staff's recommendation on item A under sub 4, public hearings and ordinances, to defer the first reading of ordinance 25-05 to a date certain, May 19th, 2025.
So moved. I'll second.
It's been moved, the motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any comments from the floor?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Taylor Hines. I'd like to ask that the Commission amend their motion to include the scheduling of a workshop between this deferral adoption and the first public hearing for this. There are 6 different amendments to these LDRs. It were all rolled in to one ordinance. Now, the mayor, Mr. Mayor, the city attorney addressed chapter 166, and this is the rule, that's what she was talking about. Each ordinance or resolution shall be introduced in writing and shall embrace but one subject and matters properly connected. This ordinance addresses 6 different sections of the LDRs, all that are distinctly different and have a depth of impact that I kind of have a feeling maybe nobody really understands what it is. So I'm going to suggest that you have a workshop, you dissect this, and you have a full understanding of what the impact is of each one of these suggested amendments. I mean, honestly, it's not even in compliance with the LDRs, which is what the motion originally says. It says the powers of the Planning and Zoning Board is to initiate amendments to the LDR text. This is a staff initiated text. It's not even in compliance with your own LDRs. The staff is not supposed to initiate amendments to the LDR text. It's supposed to come from the Planning and Zoning Board. Initiate, start there. It doesn't start in staff. It says staff initiated. LDR say the job of the Planning and Zoning Board is, one of the jobs is to initiate LDR amendments. So I would like audible discussions to be had here, because discussions on this dais that I can't hear are in violation of sunshine. Just saying, Commissioners and Attorney. So I believe this should be put into a workshop format, dissect it down, understand what you're doing. This stuff is big, and it affects every citizen in this community, whether you own a business, you want to develop, or you want to raise your children, have them go to school here, or you want to enjoy whatever it is, or just live here. These are big. This is not words on paper. This has major impacts, and you guys adopted a big one last year about setbacks and heights and all this densities. Major impact. This is staff initiated. It's in violation of your own LDRs already. So please put it into a workshop so you can dissect it, understand it, and then move forward into a public hearing with segmented ordinances if you want to. Thank you.
Good evening again. So I figured out what I was thinking about earlier. But on this topic, I haven't agreed with this, Ms. Robbins. I think that having a workshop to having commissioners sit down with each other and having a little bit more open conversation about the actual impacts of some of these LDR changes. The last largest LDR change we had did not come from staff. It came from an outside source, and from my understanding, this is staff driven. And they have major impacts upon our developments and the rules in which we develop. If we, this is how we set our rules, and we have to really make sure we understand what they mean, what would be the full gamut of what could happen after these. We have to play by these rules on all aspects, but we ask developers to play by. This is what we use. So I think having a workshop upon these. I think it's great. I think when my mother was a commissioner many years ago, many moons, she would say, when she had less gray hair, she said that they did workshops on their off weeks, and I would highly suggest that those type of things would happen, regarding many different topics, which I won't exactly bring up at this moment because I don't think it's apropos to this topic. But please consider that in how greatly these changes can affect our city. Thank you.
James Jim Carrington, citizen here in Alachua. I'm confused on this. What's going to happen to Turkey Creek? What's going to happen to Brook Point? What's going to happen to Staghorn? How many projects are we talking about that are going to be affected by all these amendments? Or that are they grandfathered in if they've already started these projects or had them presented? Save our creeks, save our woods, save our wildlife.
Hello, Sori Lindbergh. I think what Ms. Robbins recommended, I think that's a great idea. Kind of touching on what I mentioned earlier. No one I know in this room besides Carson has that urban planning expertise. He went to school a very long time. There's certifications involved. There's a lot of work there, and I think having someone with that knowledge sit down and with, Madam City Attorney, someone who really understands this legalese, to talk about it would be so helpful, because when I have questions, I want to know what y'all think as representatives of our community. You think about Tiffany as much as anyone else, and I think I don't know how to read code as well as other people. I don't have commissioner experience. My mom's not a commissioner, but I just love this place so much. And for such a big rule, it'd be really helpful to know what it is. So I also third the workshop idea, so we can all learn more from the people who live and breathe it.
And Welch again. Again, being a lifelong resident here in Alachua, I think it's very important that we do remember when we start messing with nature, it has to be maintained a proper balance. Alachua is growing. Progress is a good thing, but it can also be bad if we start damaging our environment. We have to keep in mind, I'm speaking from a grandmother and great-grandmother point of view now. Our kids, our grandkids, and generations down the line are going to inherit the decisions and the outcome of what's decided between this board and this town today. Just keep that in mind when you start making all the changes.
Mr. Mayor, I think we're getting a little off track here. The motion is to defer this to another meeting, and although I appreciate the comments that are coming forward, it's unfair we haven't had the presentation yet by staff. So I think that we just need to focus on the motion. We know that the presentation will be coming, and at that time we can tackle questions and other things. I think we need to go one step at a time. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to address a couple of the concerns brought up by residents of the public regarding this item, more specifically the motion to defer. Section 2.4.1 lays out the standards and procedure for text amendments and general amendments to the official zoning atlas. Under sub C, titled Initiation, 1. Amendment to the text of LDRs. An application to amend the text of these LDRs may be initiated by the City Commission, the Planning and Zoning Board, the Board of Adjustments, the LDR Administrator, any department or board of the city, or a person who may submit applications in accordance with Section 2.2.1 Authority to File Applications. This initiated amendment, staff initiated, is a little bit of a misnomer. It would be better informed as a commission-initiated amendment through the Strategic Initiative Action Items of Strategic Initiative 4.2 adopted by the City Commission, which directly directed my department, Planning and Community Development Department, to explore these amendments. In regards to linkage of ordinances, I will admit it is a large amendment in terms of how much of the LDRs it touches, but it all touches the same topic as far as mixed use is concerned. The way LDRs work, everything refers to each other, standards apply in different spots to same developments elsewhere, so these are related. Additionally, this item was already sent to the Planning and Zoning Board. In my presentation, I would have noted that the Planning and Zoning Board recommended 4-0 approval of this application, and they transmitted it to you as required by the land development regulations. I personally am not opposed to, at the will of the commission, of course, a workshop of some kind. However, I would note that staffing resources are very minimal right now, and if you directed the LDR administrator to take such action or schedule that, that could cause issues with internal tracking of applications and other administrative tasks. That said, I'm always happy to talk to anyone about a legislative item, as much as I'm available to by law, and that also applies to quasi-judicial hearings. I may not be the quickest response right now, but I assure you I try to respond to everyone in turn as they come to the desk or call or email.
We'll move on to the motion vote. And we'll start with Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Jacob Fletcher. Commissioner Jennifer Greenison.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I guess we're just gonna have this conversation in 2 weeks, so I'll vote aye.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Shirley Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Walter Welch vote
Aye as well.
Thank you, Carson.
Thank you, Carson.
Good job.
Agenda item, are there none? Are there any? There are none. So we'll move on. Comments from the citizen on subject not on the agenda.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Lynn Golias. I'm a 44-year resident of the City of Alachua. I've lived in Hague for 44 years. City of Alachua has removed the historic value of Hague as soon as you all got in this office. We have churches from 1868. We have cemeteries from 1868. We have Bellamy Road from the late 1700s. But you removed our historic structure protection. And now you ran a biomass pipeline down our road. Then you started doing all your other nefarious conduct. But right now, I'm here because I am so disturbed about a document that is floating through this town from the FDLE regarding Adam Bakari, who has used my city coffers, my city tax dollars, to use my city hall, my city vehicles, to enhance, groom these young children in my community. And I'm downright angry. I'm furious. I'm a mother of 2 sons. I'm a widow. Captain Louis Galley is a very established restaurant from 1948 to 1996. We got a big history in this town. And I'm telling you right now, Ben Habib Bakari, Adam Habib Bakari, Brian Habib Bakari need to leave this town. You need to remove their access to every key of this town. You need to remove their friggin' passwords. They should have no access to anything that involves our tax dollars. Period. It is infuriating that they've been grooming those children at Santa Fe High School. When you read that he had all those volunteer hours, it should take a rational citizen to go, how does he run this city and have that many volunteer hours? Something was wrong and nobody did a damn thing about it. I'm telling you, Clovis Watson, Kim Corporate, Bill Cervone, it goes down the list of everybody knowing that this was going on and nobody did a damn thing. You all are guilty. I looked at my notes. We haven't had a city manager since 2002 when y'all ran off Jim Jarbo in 6 months. I have been paying to educate Tracy Kane, Clovis Watson, and now Adam Bakari. I'm sick and tired of paying for these kids while they're ripping you. I'm going to control myself, and I'm telling you, it's all I can do is not curse here because this guy needs to be removed from our town now. Don't have access. Don't give him carte blanche. His mother owns the newspaper. We're sick and tired. His mother now works for Chestnut. What's his name? Chuck Clemens. We all know the connections. It's out of hand. You need to remove his control of our town immediately.
Thank you. We have comments from our city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to thank the staff and community volunteers that showed up on Saturday for our Great American Cleanup. I was only able to stay till about 10:30. I had a grandson that was playing baseball at 11 or 10:45. So I did want to thank all the staff and all the community volunteers that came out, our commissioners that were there. I got to witness firsthand all of them getting their hands dirty or very wet and wrinkled as they were working. I did want to give, there's a lot of talk about planning. I wanted to give an update that in the last week and a half, we have received an influx of applications and resumes for our planning department. We have gone through those resumes and applications, and we have 5 different interviews set up starting tomorrow for this week. So we'll be doing that. We will do our best to get the most qualified people in here, and that is the only goal that we have. I did want to give an update on some accusations that were made during public comment at our last meeting regarding the election. I can say this, that I reached out to the supervisor of elections on multiple occasions. Was not able to make connection with Ms. Barton. Unfortunately, she suffered the loss of her mother last week, but I did speak with her staff, and they're currently doing an investigation. But it's our understanding that the allegations that were made were not made about the city of elections, how the election was conducted, but the eligibility of 10 voters that casted ballots during that time. They told me that they are in the middle of investigation. I hope to hear something very shortly, but I just wanted to get everybody an update. As soon as we know something, we will certainly let everybody know. Again, I wanted to remind everybody that we have a joint city-county meeting on May 19th that will start at 6 p.m. And immediately following that, we'll have our regular commission meeting. That's what I got, Mr. Mayor.
May I ask the city manager a question? So yeah, yeah, there was, reference to allegations. Was there only one allegation by, Mr. Glazer, or were there other individuals, coming forward?
Since it's public record, I feel I can say what I know. And so, it was Mark Glaser who had done the research, and therefore communicated with Mr. Mitch Glazer. And that's what, Mr. Glazer, had made it, that allegation at the meeting. Any other allegations I'm not aware of, so that was the only ones that we're aware of. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify this, the allegations are regarding the registered voters and the voting rolls, which are prepared by the Supervisor of Elections office and then provided to the city. It had nothing to do with how the city ran that election. I just wanted to make that clear. The City of Alachua in the past has invited the Elections Commission to come down and actually review how we have conducted our elections, and we got past that with flying colors. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask a quick question. With the elections, I also did try to make some calls, and from the understanding, I just want to understand, is it the fact that there's a home that has 4 people but 6 votes came in? Do we have anything of knowledge of that?
Mr. Mayor, of the information that we received from the Supervisor of Elections, it had specifically to do with criminal records of those voters, not a quantity issue of ballots or people that reside in the homes.
Thank you.
Did that clear that up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions? Comments? If not, we have commission comments. We'll start with Jacob Fletcher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start off with this. Had a wonderful weekend. It was a packed full events. Saturday, got to do the Great American Cleanup. It was great. One of the things that I got to do was something that I learned about during my campaign, and that was the signs coming into our city. They definitely need some love, and I'm glad during that event we were able to do that. And I really think it's a show of pride in our city, and so being able to clean that up was very refreshing. And then Sunday, I attended an event. I signed up for this way before becoming a commissioner, and they thought it was great. I showed up, and that was the Color Meet Culture event on Sunday. We had it over at the Swick House. We did some painting, and we listened to some poetry there, and it was a really great experience. So I'm looking forward to their next event. I think it's the Color Meet Cookout. There's going to be bingo and that stuff, so I'm looking forward to that there and seeing that. Regarding some of the citizen comments, so I want you guys to know your comments don't fall on deaf ears. I definitely think that we can have a much more vibrant downtown with breweries and stuff like that. And the idea, I think Rudy Rothstein made mention of it, and to put this into Mayor Robbins about closing that downtown area and having that, and that sounds like a great idea. But before we do anything with these, large impacting ideas, we need to make sure that every voice is heard on this and we put that out for the public. But when it comes to here, I'm definitely, at first glance, supporting it. And then there's another comment by Ms. Ann Welch regarding transportation. I definitely understand that there used to be a transportation in the city, but it's kind of gone away. They used one of the signs actually to cover one of the controls over behind our sign over by Pike Springs. So that's definitely something I believe it's the MPO with the county, right, that oversees that. So with our joint meeting coming up, I wonder if that would make the agenda. other thing I think would say comments before here was concerning regarding access, and I just want to ask you, City Manager, do we keep track of who's coming into City Hall and signing in? I know we have some doors that have, little RFID badges, and I know, at least where I work, where you scan in any guests and visitors, they have to log into the sign-in sheet. Do we have a sign-in sheet for our city?
Currently, we do not.
Thank you. All right, so maybe we can look into that and doing that. That's pretty standard with a lot of places. Really, I want to thank all of you guys for coming out here today. I know there's a couple items on the agenda, particularly the people who applied for the CATF. Your willingness to engage in that is great, right? We really want citizens to be engaged, and we want them to be informed. Informed and engaged citizen is really what drives the city's success. And so I want to thank them for coming out here. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it this meeting, but I look forward to seeing their, speaking with them and getting even more applicants. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
They have comments from Jennifer Williams.
This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, so I encourage everybody to support your local teachers, teachers within your community, preschool teachers, anybody that touch a child's life. We had a training with my company and did a lot more into how to inspire teachers, grow teachers, and keep teachers. The first 5 years are, again, the most important part of the child's development, and 90% of their brain is developed in the first 5 years. So I definitely encourage loving on your teachers, supporting your teachers here locally, and anything we can do as a community and in the city. I did attend the Great American Cleanup. I was extremely excited, as I always am. I did do a little bit different this year. I did take a ride around the community as the cleanup was going on and picked up some trash. And then I met with some business owners on Main Street in the middle of it. And I am also very excited for some opportunities for Main Street and for breweries, all of those kind of things. I'm one that does not want to drive to Gainesville on my weekends, even though I might do that to get in town. And that was great. I did finish with those meetings and walked back over here to City Hall and helped pass out pizza and drinks and then take down the tables and chairs and be part of it. I typically would dive in and pull the mulch and shovel, but because I was meeting a couple of people on Main Street and didn't want to go there all sweaty and disgusting, so I deferred a little bit, but did finish sweaty and not disgusting, but sweaty with tables and chairs, bringing them up. I also want to say, Chief, again, continue to keep us safe here in our community, and everything that you guys do is a job well done. I also will say that the citizens and your voices are not, again, on deaf ears for myself either. I do value what you say, listen to what you say. I have reached out to a few of you just recently at some ribbon cuttings and introduced and asked some questions, and I do plan to continue to do that. And thank you for all you do. Our City of Alachua is a beautiful place to be.
We have comments from Vice Mayor. Comments from Commissioner Dan Green.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner Fletcher, the transportation program years ago was called CATS, C-A-T-S. I don't remember details about it in my head. I do remember that for lack of use, that the grant that came from the county, I think, was pulled to stop that program. Something, don't hold me to it, but I know it was something along those lines. I figured I'd just give you a little bit of information. I want to talk about the alcohol ordinance on Main Street, and in order to do that, I would like, Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to waive our rules and rules and procedures.
I second that.
been moved in second, so we'll take a vote on it. Oh,
Commissioner Fletcher, I see a question on your face. I'm doing this to allow for me to make a motion regarding this topic.
Right, I understand.
Okay, I just,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just confused. Usually we would withdraw the procedures for something that is usually under emergency nature, when we have to take action. And, or that's at least my thoughts on what should do that, just to keep public notice.
Understood, but I'm, in light of the comments today from citizens and the business owners, I want to be able to make a motion. Whether it passes or not is not up to me.
Okay.
so we'll make a vote on that. Motion. We'll start with Commissioner Dana Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Jacob Fletcher.
Aye.
Commissioner Jennifer Riggs.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Shirley Green Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Walter Welch, aye as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to, in light of the comments from the audience regarding the alcohol ordinance, it sounds like staff has already started looking into and having communications with some of the businesses on Main Street. So in light of that, I'd like to officially make a motion for this commission to direct staff to continue researching on that ordinance and bring back, not necessarily another ordinance yet, but to bring back to this commission options that this commission has that would be to change the ordinance to possibly accommodate what is being requested.
Mr. Mayor, if I just, for clarification,
Sure.
I believe the motion should be to direct the city manager to direct staff.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. My apologies. Yes, I amend my motion to say that I'm directing the city manager to direct staff. Correct. I'll second that.
And also move to the second for the vote. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, staff. My name is Tanya Robbins. So the motion is to direct the city manager to, could you clarify the motion again? Somebody read the motion back and stop my time, please, while I'm hearing it. So I'm clear on comment on.
It was to direct city manager to direct staff to bring this city commission back options of possible changes to the alcohol ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Williams. So I want to make sure that it's clear to Mr. Mayor, to the manager and commissioners, that it doesn't end up back here in a public hearing format. Mr. Mayor, as Commissioner Fletcher had stated before, and perhaps some of the others of you have too, that the public engagement, well, you haven't stated what I'm going to say, that the public engagement has been lacking in this community, and it sounds like you're all getting more interested in having the public be engaged in the decisions that are happening. So I just want to emphasize that it doesn't come back to you as a public hearing ordinance of change, that you need to discuss it first. You should be the ones directing when you are ready to advertise for a public hearing, right? Staff brings back options, you discuss it as an agenda item, hash it over. You can have a workshop on it and invite everybody from the downtown to come down and the public to come in and have a roundtable. You can do that. And then you can decide how you're going to tweak the language and what is the best changing of the law, since this is a law. And then you can direct and authorize staff to direct the city, you can direct the city manager to then advertise for your public hearings. so that you don't get ahead of yourself by having a public hearing advertised before you had a chance to really sit down and understand it and look at all the options and bring in the public then and have the open discussions for understanding. I mean, the county does it, where the county commission they're the ones that authorize even a public hearing being advertised. Because there's a lengthy process before it goes out to public hearing. That's the official last step, essentially, right? So I'm just saying, proceed with caution, make sure you understand what you're doing, engage with the public, bring them to the table so that everybody gets to be heard and good ideas and concerns are aired and responded to, so that you end up with a good product that everybody feels good about, whatever that is. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, for clarification, I'm very aware of what Ms. Robbins has stated, and I believe my motion was clear that it was for city manager to direct staff to bring back options, which would just be an agenda item presentation. And nowhere in my motion did I say anything about any kind of a public hearing.
Just a clarification on the motion, is it for alcohol ordinance or LDRs?
The alcohol ordinance that was brought up by some of our business owners and citizens.
I will add specifically also the churches on Main Street, and from whatever city manager does get into is that those things were okayed by the churches a while back for us to do. So it looks like as we're moving forward to bring any option that we need to bring for Main Street.
Mr. Mayor, is there anyone from those churches willing to speak at this meeting on this?
I don't
know.
I don't know. I would rather see them come at the next, that when staff brings this back after they come back with options. So I'm just asking this commission to approve directing city manager to do so.
We're gonna call for a vote on the motion. Once again, I call Commissioner Daniel Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Jacob Fletcher.
Aye.
Commissioner Jennifer Renderson.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Shirley Green Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Walter Welch also vote aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Mayor, I know we're gonna go to Vice Mayor Shirley Greenbaum, but I did forget to bring up in my comments the opioid task force. We have moved forward in leaps and bounds. We have about 7 different billboards and information getting ready to happen in the community over the next 30 days. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that it's full steam ahead. So I just wanted to just bring that up real quick to our.
Thank you. Now we have comments from the Vice Mayor.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate you. Special thanks to Pastor F. Williams for the prayer tonight. Thanks to all the citizens for your comments, for your concerns, for your innovative ideas. I truly, truly thank you. I have been wanting this for years. More people to come and express your thoughts. How is it? How will we know what you would like if you don't come and express it? So thank you to the folks that reach out to us, that call us, that we see in the grocery stores, that we see other places. We are the leaders, and I would like to continue to hear from all of you. The Folks ice cream cutting was awesome. If you haven't gotten a chance, go to the ice cream place. I serve on the Child Advocacy Board and participated in Lawrence Walk to support and continue awareness of the abuse of children. W.W. Irby Elementary held their second grade music performance last week. The children were amazing. Thanks to the second grade teachers and Mrs. Elaine Foreman for presenting that event. The Great American Cleanup was exceptional. My thanks to all the sponsors, those participating, and especially our team leader, Mel and again. We had children there. It was great. I left there, went to Turkey Creek. The FAMU alumni had a golf tournament, so I volunteered to serve the golfers. So when I got home, I was exhausted. Let me say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, grandmothers, adopted mothers, surrogate mothers, godmothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-great-grandmothers. Did I miss anybody, Rudy? Happy Mother's Day.
We thank you. And I also want to thank you, citizens. I really appreciate your patience. I will tell you a story, but I'm not going to bore you with that. But I'm willing to learn, and I'm learning. And I love that you have accepted me and have patience with me. My passion, I must tell you, my passion is for the citizens, more than anything. I want to make sure the citizens of Alachua is happy, that I'm happy. And I promise you I will get better at this. I'm going to start doing some homework, but I have a lot on my plate right now. I have my church obligations because I'm a pastor. They emailed me from Jacksonville and Leesburg, and hey, you need to finish up your report. So I'm learning, and I appreciate all that you're commenting. I appreciate all that you want to see done, and I promise, if it's any way possible, your comments will not be ignored. We will collaborate on it, and we will create some kind of workshops, and where we can be able to really get a little deeper in what we're asked to do. Because like I said, I love people, and I want to see people happy more than anything. That's my passion. And once again, I thank you all. I thank my loving wife, for being supportive to me. And I thank my supportive staff here for helping me, learn the ropes. I thank my friend, that he's gone. I think he slipped out of here, Mr. Gil Cooper. I have been knowing him for a minute, and he's a great guy. And every now and then, I try to launch you, but he said, "You just keep on, you got it." So I appreciate each and every one of you for allowing me to be your mayor, and I will try my very best to make you proud that I am your mayor. And thank you once again.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor that the motion is for adjourn, let it be known.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is adjourned. Thank you all.
Involved talk, administering, through comment, anyway, I can use that more. Personally, well, I feel for you though. If you're married to this year, I am too, and my wife is. She feels like it takes a special person. Right?
Okay, bye. Okay, so I'll see you. I'll see you. You want me to read? This is a mild one. I was actually impressed. She said something in her show. That's crazy. Yes. That was the most pleasant I've ever heard I'll take it as a win.
Yeah. That's what I Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, right? So I'm gonna do the
Whatever you
exact thing.
yes.
All right, I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.